Hello, everyone, and welcome to SpotOn3D's first office hours. And I'm really excited, and I'm just a little bit nervous. So if I really flub up, please just forgive me. Today, late a little bit, we'll be talking about what's going on the grid, what's happened in the last 30 days, which has been pretty phenomenal since our partnership with Phoenix. The Phoenix viewer folks, you should know about that. If not, I'll go over that. And today we'll have our guest from our grid, SpotOn3D, Thompson. Says the same name in our world, SSL, just spelled a little differently. And he's our first land developer. And we'll go over and talk with him about his experience with us. And we'll take questions in between. So if you have any questions about SpotOn3D, the way it's ran, the people that are on it, what our future offerings will be, this will be your opportunity to be heard and listened. I guess I start. What's happened in the last 30 days? As you know, on January 24th, we publicly announced our partnership with Jessica Lyons and the Phoenix Coder Crew for the Phoenix viewer. This was in an effort, me and Jessica met back in November, and we discussed the many things that were going on in the Metaverse and how things were expanding, and the need for a lot of people to have that very familiar client that they're really loving and adoring. And we all love the 1.23 interface because you don't have to search for buttons and things. And Phoenix has been really committed to that, but because of the new push towards 2.0 that tended to put a lot of buttons underneath drop-downs, a lot of people were very frustrated with it, and I think we can all empathize with it. And there's just a lot of people that absolutely love it. So the idea was try to give the community a metaversal experience that can go across all the grids and have that familiar feeling. I should say Jessica and the boys have made great progress with their integration of 2.0, wrangling that UI to do what they want it to do to be more user-friendly. And I've got to say it's pretty phenomenal. There's still some things that we're all concerned about in some of the things they're rolling out, but it looks like actually Linden Lab is listening. And hopefully we're going to have two viewers that do phenomenal things from Phoenix, and then we'll see a lot more integration, I think, into the metaversal experience. And that's one of the things, if you know me, I preach about this isn't about one grid. No one grid can meet the demand that eventually our technology will bring to us. And it has to be a bunch of professional grids that really know what they're doing, really do a great job of customer service, and make that entry experience as easy as possible with, I think the only thing you can do to make it better is have that one-on-one experience with another resident. I think that is the major difference between anything, and that takes a lot of people. That takes a lot of experienced people. So for us, it's more about coming together as a community, brainstorming ideas on how to make things better, how to make your inventory more versatile and portable, how to give those grid owners that are struggling a way to get their grids rolling, not just the ones that are connected to our network of grids, but the ones that are out there all on their own. It's a lot of work running a grid. As I can attest to it. It's sort of like giving birth to a baby. Yeah. There's days you don't bathe. There's days you don't. Oh, sorry. Rob's telling me I'm brushing on something. There's days you don't bathe. There's times you don't eat, and it's just like, I really think it's like giving birth to Marias, my son. It's very hard. Let me introduce you to Xay. Just so if you want to pop in here and say something, you can while we're going on here. You don't have to be.
No worries.
Thank you. We're going to go through what's happened. Do so. We're going to go through what happened in the last 30 days since the January 24th announcement, and that would be a lot. We put off the announcement actually for a couple months because we weren't ready. We had to upgrade to 7.1, which allows us a lot more user capacity. We had to move our geographic of our map around a bit, get some major bugs solved, and do some cloud work. It was really important that we knew we were prepared for the influx of users we knew would come, and boy, I'm really glad we did because it's been phenomenal. In the last 30 days, we've had an average of 100 to 160 people come through our grid on a daily basis, which is just phenomenal. Most of them new users. Our registrations have gone from approximately 1,200 users before the announcement to over 2,800. It's been pretty wild, but it's not been so crazy that we couldn't handle it. It's been a really nice, steady flow of people coming through, and they've all been very positive and very excited about SpotOn and what it has to offer, which has been very gratifying. We have rented well over 100 regions and a handful of parcels during our land rush phase, which is still going on, but I think we're down to like 18 regions now. So if you really want to take advantage of the grandfathered pricing, it would be smart to come now and check us out. If that's what you want to do is expand beyond SL. We have like I said, we have about 100 to 160 users trafficking through, and our marketplace, we went from a very anorexic, like 250 listings up to well over 1,000 now, and Zay's responsible for a lot of that. He's put in about, I think, how much have you put on the marketplace in the last couple of weeks?
Just short of 200 now.
Oh, Lordy.
200 items, yeah. Pretty prolific creator.
Yeah, he's going to be the master of our marketplace. And as y'all, some of you may know, and some of you may not, we have a built-in web window into our SpotOn3D client, and it is designed to allow you to shop easy, to find out the region information about the regions you land in, so you can know the ratings. If you don't happen to notice at the top, you can find out what they are there about and what they're doing and things like that. So, but that's also for our marketplace. The buying experience is just like any other experience. You see a sign or you see a piece of furniture, you click on it, you sit on it, you try it out, then you click on it to buy it. But instead of going through an in-world vendor system, which can be laggy, and no matter how you code it, if you eventually have the kind of people we expect to come to the grids, you will eventually have 10,000 people pressing that same button at the same time consistently, depending on how many users you have shopping, and that adds to lag. So the idea was to route it to the web page, and that way we would have the ability to create another channel, another pipeline for that information to go through, and that makes it less lag on the world. It also makes it convenient because you can shop from home, work. You don't have to be logged in, and you don't have to be in the avatar. You can shop for any of your avatars if you have their password. You wanted to say something, Zay?
I'm having a bit of trouble communicating. Oh, people are having trouble hearing me. Can they get me now? Yes.
Yay.
Okay, I think I'll fix the problem. Sorry, yes. Look, my attraction to SpotOn was, it's just like a new world. It's fantastic. The resing and all that is very easy. It's just has a very good feel to it compared to the other grids I've been involved with.
Zay, they're still not seeing your voice, and I don't see the green echoes over your head. Do you have your blue button turned on? On the top?
We are having technical problems.
Oh.
We are having technical problems.
Well, the Skype Skype is fine. So I'm sorry, you guys. If you want in the audience, you can listen in on the live feed. Let me get that URL for you. Sorry for the technical difficulties, everybody. It's new. Let me get my
Just give me 1 moment.
Let me give that live feed in the meantime. So I can find your.
Is that working?
I see a white dot, but I don't see the echoes yet.
Come on.
Metaverse done it.
How terribly inconvenient. Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. Well, let's give them the URL, and they can kind of listen in on the web page through us. And just, y'all, I would just turn the volume down if you want to listen in on the live feed. And then you can answer. You can still type in your questions here, or you can type in there.
Yep, I'm watching the type as well. So
here you go. Okay, so I think we're solved with that one. Mm-hmm. So let's give them a few minutes to get to the web page, I guess, so they can hear you. Today we listed. By the way, I want to do an update for everyone on the Phoenix. As you all know, the first Phoenix out was pretty beta. Didn't have our built-in web page. Didn't have our Mumble voice because we use a different voice in SL. As if you visit us, you might have recognized that. We have to do that because Vivox is a copyrighted material and they cost money, and we didn't have money. We're a startup. Not $10,000 and $2,000 a month, which is what they were quoting the price for at that time. That may have changed since then, but they are worth it because they have spatial sound and they are on a lot of games. But it just wasn't within our budget, so we developed our own open source system based upon a system called Mumble, and we were one of the first grids to have voice. And while it's still very beta, still needs a lot of work, we are getting there. But now Phoenix has to do what we do, which is we have a system that turns it off when you come to Second Life so that it doesn't interrupt your Vivox experience. And we try to respect the other grids' systems and priorities because we're not here to take over. Can everybody hear Zay now?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine, Zay. I just don't know if the audience can. Can you all hear him? Nobody's responding. So I'm assuming you can. Good. Yay. Thank you.
Oh, hello. Yes. Fantastic.
Yes. Oh, good. Okay. So, Zay, you were saying before about your experience with SpotOn?
Yeah. I just I've got a long history in virtual worlds, and I just wanted something new that had a good fresh feel to it, and SpotOn was quite good. It's got everything I need, and the building is very good. I notice it's a lot easier to make builds in SpotOn than it is in SL. The resing's faster, and the size of the prims is a big plus. It's just so far I've been there about 2 weeks with the 10 sims that I've got there, and it's going very well so far, I must say.
Yeah, so you've got 10 sims on our grid. So I'm in the VSIM recreational grid, which we were like, oh wow, okay. Because we were kind of running short on Sims, so when he asked that, we were like, oh gosh, okay, let's gather up what we have left on this server and see what we have enough. We actually had to scramble a bit because I promised everyone I would give them at least 2 weeks notice of before we shut down the land rush. So it kind of took us by surprise, I gotta say. We were cleaning off islands like crazy that we've been using for production to make sure we have at least 25 islands left. So.
Yeah, everyone sort of jumped into a frenzy when I came up with the idea of starting a continent there, but no, it's worked so far. It's worked so far very well. I'm very happy. Yeah, and it's good to see quite a few people coming through the Sims every day and just having a look around.
Yep. How do you feel about the Phoenix connection? Does that make you feel more secure or better about having that kind of client muscle behind us?
Yeah, it is good, and it's a good viewer. I enjoy using it. I use it for coming in, and I'm using it now, actually. I use it for coming into SL. And SpotOn3D. It's a good versatile viewer. Does everything I need.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, I should tell you, everyone, we had a meeting with Jessica, and they should be updating the Phoenix from the beta version in about 3 to 4 weeks. Yay! And then we'll have Mumble integrated, we'll have the web window integrated, and a lot of the other basic features y'all are used to. We're working hard to get the Mac voice because we have a lot of demand for that on both sides. The Mac voice and media, it works on Phoenix, so we should be able to integrate that into ours fairly easy, taking off on their work. But the voice has been kind of a challenge because there are certain proprietary licenses and systems that we can't use, so we have to basically write our own to ensure that we do have the Mac voice. So that's why it's taking so long, and as you know, it's very, very difficult to find a Mac coder, and they're usually book solid, and they cost a lot of money. So unless they're really generous and code for us out of the goodness of their heart, if you know of anyone who is a Mac coder, please let us know. And that brings me to another big thing, which if you'll read our blog today at SpotOn3D, http:// SpotOn3 blog, let me just go to the website, because I'm so dyslexic, I'll get it wrong. Here we go. As you all know, I'm terribly dyslexic. There you go. If you go there, that's our blog spot for the day, and we have a big announcement about how we're growing and what we're looking for. We're actually hiring. We've been hiring behind the scenes a little bit with people who our other team members have brought to us, knowing that we were going to need more help. One of those is Callie Berman, who is taking over our PR. Thank God, because I'm bad at it. Okay, I'll be honest. I guess I just don't have that knack. Callie knows how to reach out to the community and bring them in and make them feel like, they're home. And I think that's really important. And I try my best, but, you ask anybody who works with me, I'm scooting around with 2,700 different things in my head. So it's really hard for me to, unless I just block out the rest of the world, it's really hard for me to have a cohesive conversation. And come around midnight or 1 or 2, and you could probably have that conversation with me. But even Zay knows this, I'll say, wait a minute, because I can't talk and type and have a conversation at the same time. Callie truly is the only person I've met so far that can truly multitask. And she takes care of our Facebook. She shouts out to our groups here. She's starting a new music group for all the musicians in SL, because as many of you will probably know, we have a program called Music a Jam, and that is to promote musicians and get them beyond just one grid, again, to expand their talent, get them more exposure, get them more money, quite honestly. And we would really like to reinvent the musical experience in the virtual world, because I think everybody recognizes there are definitely some big flaws in how the monetization of it is done and how everybody can benefit better from it. We think we can come up, if we bring the community together, musicians, we can come up with some really novel ideas on how to make sure everybody gets gets what they need out of the experience from a monetary point of view so it can survive. Because quite honestly, if the venue owners can't afford to pay for the fees for the musicians, then the musicians are basically, as I hear it, a lot of musicians are playing strictly for tips, and then that doesn't always go over well. And again, if the incentive isn't there, then it's going to basically, fiddle down a lot. It's going to affect the value and the growth of the musicians in SL and in the Metaverse as a whole. So what we're trying to do is try to get communication between the musicians, the audience, the venue owners, and try to come together with some really rational solutions. And Music Jam is part of that. And it's a huge part of our social realm. And Callie is our booking agent, so if you have anyone you know who's a really great musician, she would be the one you'd talk to. Callie, can you give us the name of the group? Yes, musicians need to eat, feed, and yes, we do. Thank you, Ikmal. Ikmal Supermarine is saying musicians need to eat, feed them. Justice for musos. Callie, do you have that? Why can't I open this up wider? Oh, okay, there we go, because it's already open wider. Okay, let me get it from Callie. Oops, she's standing up. I think she's having internet problems. But we have a new group, and I've forgotten the name of it. Sorry. But I'll get that from her, and we'll put that on the web. But the group is designed to give everyone a voice on the Metaverse, a way to help get the events out. We also have a really exciting multiverse system that I've got to promote. It's called Radione, Radione, Radione. And it's made by a Frenchman, and I'm sorry, it's a French name, so I have a hard time remembering it. I'm horrible. But he's made this portable IRC system so that the whole Metaverse can talk to each other through this little gadget that's on my hip that looks like an iPhone. On our grid, it looks like an MP3 player. And we're in talks with him about doing some work and with him that will hopefully involve the whole Metaverse and help get the word out about people, places, and things without being too disruptive and spammy in the IRC groups. And that's really exciting. That's a thing I'm really excited about because for once, now we finally have a way to communicate to everyone without being on the same grid system or being on the same chat system. It's really, really, really exciting. So that's another way you'll be hearing about events coming from SpotOn3D. If you want one of these iPhones, send me a note card would be better. Don't send me IMs because I'll probably get capped off or something here. But send me a note card, and I'll try to get you one as soon as possible. If you have a membership on SpotOn3D, I can also send you one there. But that should be lots of fun for that. And I'm coming on my 30 minutes. I'm almost out of time. If any, as far as hiring, see, Juice is so much better.
You can easily talk for 30 minutes.
I know I could, couldn't I? Yeah, Juice was worried I wouldn't have enough stuff. Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay. I think... Kai Avor says he's worried I'm not charging enough money for our services. I'm not right now, actually. The prices we have for our land right now are at cost. So we're not making a profit. We're not, it's a quantity thing. You get massive support and then it starts covering the cost. And let me make everyone very aware that we're not about being greedy or making a lot of money. The effort is to just cover the cost of the grid because we are already getting corporate interest in our platform, and we really expect that to be where we make our money. So everything we give to you is at the lowest cost as we possibly can afford and still provide the great services we do. And we are probably the most technically advanced grid out there in most ways. We don't have a combat system, so if somebody has a combat system, please contact us. We could really use that because the Gorians would love to set up their own mature grid for Gore, but guys like to fight, and we have this great thing called Cloud, Boost Cloud, and it will allow you to put like a combat scene on its own dedicated server, and it should be able to hold up to 100 people, 125, depending upon what you're doing. Combat is a little strenuous, but we should be able to do a good number. But that means between megasims with no region lines and the cloud server hosting it, you really have a dynamic experience. And that goes for boating, racing, flying, anything you can think of. I mean, that you've been kind of gritting your teeth over because of region lines and lag issues. We're working to get solved. It's not perfected yet, as some people might have noticed at our premiere of Music and Jam. Sky was there and sporting a new hairdo, like Sinead O'Connor style, so he lost his hair in the middle of the performance. So we apologize, Sky. That's not how we really want it to go. But it's bleeding technology, and we are always advancing it. So there's going to be some bumps in the road, but I have to say everyone was incredibly patient and generous. And even though we crashed a couple times, kept coming back. So about pricing, they will have to increase. And we're right now deciding whether we would are we going to just increase a setup fee, impose a setup fee, because we haven't had a setup fee either, or are we going to impose a monthly raise the price monthly, or do a little bit of both, or give you a choice. And I would really like to hear from you all as to how you would like it, because I think that's important to listen to you all on which one you would like, or if you'd like an option to do both. Both can get a little confusing. That's my only worry about doing both, because I really like the idea of giving lots of choices. That's the other issue. Let's see. The next thing would be, we are looking for programmers. If you are an experienced Cake PHP or PHP, because Cake is not that hard to adjust if you're a PHP coder. If you or if you know C# and C++, Linux systems, MySQL, we are looking to hire 2 individuals full-time. It's not great pay, but it is good pay. It is decent. It is USD. And if you are around and you do a good job, we have 3 members of our team that are already own a percentage of the company. It's a very small percentage, but this is how it is. It has to be that way. But for those who have shown us great loyalty and great enthusiasm for our project, we obviously try to be very generous with, because we feel it's important to show our gratitude, because we certainly can't pay them what they're valued at. No one, not even me, is paid what they're valued right now. But in exchange for that sacrifice, we have really exciting projects. We love to listen to ideas. We love to incorporate your vision as it works with our system. So it's really exciting. If you know of anyone with these skills, please let us know. Also, if you just like to volunteer, we are really needing more volunteers, because though I love working the gate, and I will always work the hub, where the entry points, as much as possible, we have 3 new grids to launch. And all that's waiting on them now is the web pages. And that's why I need a Cake PHP person. And HTML, yes, you have to know HTML. But we really need more volunteers to help us launch those, because, of course, we'll need people at the gate for them, too, to help. Because, like I said, I think it's really paramount. We have learning paths, we have videos, we have note cards galore and everything. But what's going to make the difference is that human component. And those people who show us a lot of, again, loyalty and expertise, we will elevate those volunteer moderators into concierge, and that will be a paid service. So there is I'm adamant that I've always felt like, as a business owner, that part of my job is making jobs. I don't believe in not making jobs or trying to cut jobs. I may not be able to pay everyone right now what they're worth, but I am hiring a good bit of people because I know, one, these are really hard times for artists and specialty coders, like the people who work in virtual worlds. And I want to make sure that they don't go goodbye. And what would make them go goodbye is not being able to make enough to at least cover their expenses. So that's one of the things why I feel compelled, to try to bring as many people as I can in. Yeah, I'm kind of a mother hen. I'll admit it. My nickname, because my real name is Teresa, but everybody calls me Tessa anyway. So, but yeah, my nickname used to be Mother Teresa. Okay, so that pretty much sums it, right? So anyone have questions? Oh, thank you, Ikmal. Thank you. And thank you, Phoenix. If you could, okay. Phoenix is telling us he has someone who knows coding. Good. Very good. And Ikmal is offering to volunteer. Very nice. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay. And anyone else, if you want to contact over these jobs or volunteering, or if you're a creator, because we still have some pretty big gaping holes in the menswear, because Xay's community is a lot of guys, and they're very well dressed, and they're feeling very undressed on grid because there's not enough men's stuff. So there's a huge market here if you do menswear. Come and get it. And hair and shoes. Those are the three things we're still, the designers I have right now, they're going crazy putting up content and making stuff. Leave them undressed, Deuces says. Well, I visited Zay this morning and he was about there. He had a really nice Speedo on. It was very revealing, and I was like, woo!
Welcome to Irukandji.
Yes. That's a good segue. Why don't you tell us about your community, Zay?
Yeah, well, basically it's a tropical island setup, South Pacific theme. That said, we really do keep tiki to a minimum. But yeah, it's an open type of community. Everyone's welcome. We do target largely in our marketing, at least, the gay and lesbian community, but we do welcome anyone. Yeah, it's just about our slogan is peace, lifestyle, and peace, lifestyle, freedom. So basically, that's the concept behind our development there, and yeah, just trying to create a bit of a haven and somewhere that people can come and enjoy their virtual life. It's designed to be fun. We keep drama to a minimum, and we do our best to keep everyone happy. And yeah,
very good, very good. And he's building up a storm. He's got an eight-story retail. So he's already packing up with his stuff, but he's actually giving away space like we do, and this is so nice. Thank you, Zay, because I've been the one giving out all the free stores. It's so nice to see one of our residents do the same thing.
I'm happy to. I've actually contacted a lot of creators on various grids, and I'm offering them space free of charge to come and set up in the Irukandji continent. I'll give them a place to stay and make stuff, free of charge. So I'm happy to do that just to help the content come into SpotOn, because I do believe what you've got is a great concept, and it has a really good feel to it. I'm certainly happier here than I've been on other grids. So yeah, if we can all sort of do our best to make it come together, it's got a lot of people working towards the same cause.
Great. Thank you. Wow, thank you. Yes, and just so you know, creators, if you have any qualms about security, we're probably the most secure grid out there. We limit clients from coming in because that is the number one way content can be ripped. We have a full community-driven dispute resolution panel to handle issues that can't be handled between yourselves and the resident. But we do suggest that if you see a product that you question maybe not legally gotten, please don't jump all over them. Please talk to them because there is so much ripped content out there. It's hard to know, even myself. I've been around since 2005. I've been in the virtual community as a whole for 15 years, starting in Active World. So I'm well acquainted with this problem. And we're really trying to put it to rest. But it's very hard, even for a veteran like me, to know what content, everybody's content looks like. So it's very hard to for the users too. So please don't assume they've ripped it. More 9 times out of 10, it was something that was sold to them illegally. And if we find it on our grid, we try to resolve that problem as best we can, following DMCA's and procedures and everything like would be expected. We do have a dispute resolution panel if there's controversy, because we want our grid to be about a lot less drama and a lot more fun and positive stuff instead of being dragged down by all these IP issues. I'm really trying to put the IP issue to bed. And give real workable channels for any dispute resolutions problems to be solved through the community-driven dispute resolution. It's all voluntary. Somebody tells you it's not, they're ill-informed. It is all completely voluntary. And if that doesn't work, they can also go up to a real-world arbitration court system with a real-world judge. And this is a decision that's just like going to court and is recognized in over 150 countries, and it starts at 150 USD. So even from very minor, he put his tree over my line, which shouldn't happen on our grid because all our parcels have space around them, to he ran off with my land after we broke up. We want and to DMCA issues. If the DMCA, of course, claim only handles half of the issue. The other is resolving the right and wrong of it. If we do find someone intentionally bringing in ripped content, obviously that's going to have to be resolved in a community way. And justice meted out, because I think that's the biggest issue, at least I had, with the way things have been handled so far with the MCAs. It's all been kind of behind the closed doors, and who knows what happened, a he said, she said kind of thing. And I think it needs to be resolved in a more factual manner. And somebody's just handed me a note card. Thank you very much. I'll read that after the show. So appreciated. So anyone has questions out in the audience of either me or Zay, or online? We have about 12 minutes left. Okay, Cammie Hudson is asking a question about the viewer. Which viewer, the Phoenix or the SpotOn3D viewer? Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead. What's your question? Just so you know, the downloads for the Phoenix SpotOn client is on our website. You download it from our download page. You just, up at the very top of our website, you should see downloads. Oh, it's a long question. Well, okay, I'll gab a little bit while you write it. How's that? I'll get a next question until you get that done, and then we'll come back to you, Cammie. The physics engine, we actually have the ODE system working for cars and boats. It's a very simple script, okay? It just like when you first came into SL, the boats were very simplistic, and the coders had to maneuver the code to do what they wanted to do, like to do the sophisticated sailing mechanisms and maneuvers. And I've been told there's no reason why that can't be done with ODE. It's just going to be done differently. but we do have boats, and they go really fast. We do have cars. They go really fast, too. And we have a 16-region megasim, where all the region lines kind of disappear. It doesn't work as well on our light use grid server, but we will run events where we'll put it on the cloud, and it runs very smoothly then. And I want to do races. If anybody knows of somebody who's really into cars and boats and vehicles, we're looking for somebody, a grid manager, to actually help us build that community. It would be a lot of work. I'm going to be real honest. All these grids, starting up grids is a lot of work, but if you're good, if you have a lot of community that will follow you or come over for events, motorcycles. Nobody's done motorcycles, Lauren, yet. But I don't see any reason why they couldn't. And as far as flying machines, I think we should just use the avatar fly and to work with the mechanism, because nothing flies better than an avatar, as far as I'm concerned. So I think that's how we're going to implement it in a new grid that's been under construction for quite a while with Nigma Sterling is heading it up. It's called interspace3d.com. It's a 9-region megasim, and the idea is to have space travel without region lines. But all these things are waiting basically for the coders to say, ooh, wow, that's pretty cool, and come and make it something more than what it is now. We started it, but we don't want to be the people who do this. We want the community to be the people that do this, because, we don't want them saying, well, what's left for me to do? We want them to do, put their stamp on our grid, if you will. So.
Something I'm definitely working towards is getting vehicles happening in a big way.
Yeah, we've got...
Especially having islands, I need boats and things happening. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun.
I have to add to that in the next few days.
Cool. Yeah, I just gave him the scripts. We do have all the scripts to make the cars and boats run open source. Plus, you don't have a prim limit. But, be cognizant that the more prims you get, the harder it's going to be to shove around. But you don't have the 31 prim limit. You don't have the 10-meter limit either. So all our prims can be scaled up to 256 by 256. You can daisy chain link sets to exceed the 256 boundary, but you better make pretty sure you're done, because it's really hard to edit after that. And make copies, because if you edit it, it might go a little wonky, because it's more than the limit. It's a little hack, a bit of a hack, but it works, and it's really cool. Then we have no distance linking restrictions. So, again, it's a pro and con thing. It's great. You don't have to worry about being within 30 meters, but, be careful, because you could grab that house from way over there. So, yeah, it's everything, most things, it has its pluses and its minuses. Okay, Cammie said, when I'm on SL with the Phoenix viewer and go on to the SpotOn3D viewer, eventually both corrupt each other and start getting crashy. The SpotOn3D viewers get so unstable and shaky. You just have to uninstall views and reinstall them again every 2 weeks. No, this is the first time you've actually had anybody have this problem. Are you using the Phoenix viewer, though? Again, it's beta, and I have seen some cache bleed, and we've talked to Jessica about it, and that's why, another reason why it'll be another 3, maybe 4 weeks before we have that new viewer out for Phoenix. So until then, I hate to say it, but I would suggest you probably use the SpotOn3D until then, until we finish up with all this beta stuff on the Phoenix. But I'm really looking forward to it, because I really want to see what the Phoenix crew comes up with as far as how to be more innovative than our client, because you get this tunnel vision and you can't see anything. Okay, we have 11 minutes left, Deuce is telling me 7. Okay, so we have 7 minutes left. I want to go over one question that I get asked a lot, and it's kind of a touchy subject, and that is why we charge $2.99 for a premium membership. That makes it so that if you don't have that, you can't buy mature product, you can't go to mature areas. It's for a lot of reasons, not just one. It's for a lot of reasons. But the main reason is because I'm a mother of a 16-year-old. I have been obviously on the web for 15 years. I totally get what's there. I am pragmatic in that I can say none of this and none of that till my face turns blue, but it will be there. So, and rather than put my head in the sand and pretend those things aren't going to come to my grid, and rather than pretend that I have control over that, we have made a very conscious decision to channel it into certain areas through the mature premium membership. And this means that kids will come in through school groups. Very conservative adults from business and education are already coming in for our Biz Grid and our EduMerge Grid. That they're not even launched, but they already have residents who are working to build their presence and utilize some of the extraordinary tools we offer them. But that means we have to step up to the plate and do this whole thing, what I call responsible tolerance, better. I have to ensure that there's a high degree of impossibility for a child to get onto mature areas, so that adults don't have to be Disney-fied and kids don't have to worry about being exposed to things they shouldn't, and adults that don't have an interest in it as well. So this is why the main reason we do the mature, because frankly, parents are we only use PayPal as our funding system. They verify people's identities really, really well. It's not foolproof, but it's pretty darn close. And it keeps us from having to ask you for your driver's license or any other kinds of IDs that, frankly, I shouldn't have. I shouldn't have that information from you. I shouldn't have your driver's license unless you're working for me. If
I can cut in there, Tessa, a great thing with having that 295 verification is that it's virtually wiped out griefing. So I've not experienced any griefing on this grid, and whereas before on the other grids it was a nightmare. And what this membership does is I think it scares griefers away, because you know that your prim or object or script can be traced back to a real person if there's a problem.
Yes.
I think for Sim DeVille.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. For someone like me who's trying to set up properties for people to enjoy, that's a big plus.
Yeah. If you didn't hear Isaiah, he's saying, and this is what I was about to get to, is also the griefing. And we get a lot of people say, you're going to make me pay to script. I'm sorry. It's not about paying. It's about verifying. Because if you were here 2006 when Second Life opened up the gates to anyone to come in without any kind of verification or account purchase, it really changed the dynamic of the community tremendously. And I don't think it was all negative, but I definitely was not all positive, because at one point, we had a project that was completely stalled due to scripts being turned off, because there was just so much griefing. And as Zay points out, we, knock on wood, the most grief we've had is somebody running around cursing, and that's to be expected, I guess. And that gets handled pretty quickly. But we've not had any scripting briefing, because, again, parents are far more careful with their PayPal than they are their driver's license, so their kid's not going to sneak it out in the middle of the night and get in and grief us, and it be blamed on their parents. And the average griefer doesn't want to leave any fingerprints. They don't want to be known. They want to come in, do their dirty deed, and leave, and we're just not giving them that opportunity, because I promised, it was one of my cornerstone promises, is that I would produce a grid that was more stable, less laggy, and more grief-proof. Now, I can't give you 100% on any of these, but as Izay just said, he's not experienced any griefing, and that's pretty big. Pretty big. Now, every griefer in the world will probably come at us.
Bring it on.
And really, limiting to only approved clients really does help a lot. And it's done server side. So those people who think they can just spoof the name on the client and get in, you'll still be sent to the lounge and asked to download ours, because you can't come in without our clients. And if you recompile our clients, that will be seen and it will be noted, and you will be again sent to the lounge, even though you're in the SpotOn3D client that you recompiled. So it's not foolproof, but it's very good. Okay, Cammie, as far as the viewer thing, I would suggest, like, again, the solution is to just use ours. I hope that answered your question. And just hold off. Give us a little more time. We'll get the Phoenix thing working and get it working a lot better so that you can have that experience as well on our grid. Let's see, one of the other questions we have is about mature purchases. Why do I have to upgrade to get mature purchases? Obviously, this is more about skins than anything else. We're so used to just buying an anatomically correct skin, and we don't even think about it because we've been primarily in Second Life an adult grid, for grown-ups. I don't mean adult, because not everybody's, But it's more about everyone is Deuce says everyone is anatomically something. But the fact is, I just can't bring myself. We have to provide what we call PG skins, and that is skins that have the tender bit skinned over, like Barbie and Ken, called Barbie and Ken dolls skins. But that is so you don't have kids coming in getting adults natured skins and having these bits and pieces. We do have Lindy Lowe, who has another business that features children's stuff, so we will have the ability to offer them specialized skins. But kids, they will get their parents to hand off their avatar money, and they will buy what they want. So we want to make sure whatever they see is proper for them. I just can't bring myself to say it's okay to have a minor on our grid with tender bits. It just makes me shudder. It just doesn't seem right. And they're just going to have to wait till they're 18. I know they have these things in real life, and that's kind of prudish, but that's the way I feel because I think it just leads to a lot of problems. We also do not let any child avatars on the mature side of our grids because I can't find any reason for a child avatar to be there. That is a hard and fast rule. If I see it broken, you will be asked to leave. It's just, that's the way it is. We know the difference between an adult fairy-looking avatar and a child avatar. And the rule of thumb is if your boss were looking over your shoulder, or your 80-year-old grandmother was walking by, or your 8-year-old niece was sitting next to you, would you do that in front of them? If not, then it probably should not be done on the PG area. It's a real common sense kind of way of thinking. And I think it's important to have these differences, not only for our kids, but guess what? For us adults, to have our privacy, to have our time. Because, look, my kid plays the same song 50 times in a row with those little CDs attached to them. Oh, God, save me, okay? And so it's about keeping the sanity, too, of the separation of the two. So if there's a lot.
Answering Ixmel's comment there, yes, I have that covered actually in World. So if he goes to Synergy, he'll find a solution to that comment he made.
What was the comment he made?
Where are we? Anatomically correct has a crucial bloke bit missing that you have to buy separately. I've got that covered. Don't worry.
Okay, well, I think we need to start wrapping it up. Did you have any final thoughts, Azay? I know some of you can't hear them. I'm so sorry.
No. Look, I'm just really happy with the experience so far, and I think you're doing a great job, and Victor, and it's just going to go from strength to strength. I think I have a lot of confidence in it.
Awesome, and we are so grateful for you to be here because I think it's really important that we support all our community, not just one segment. And that's one of the reasons why we do these multiple grids, so everybody has their own place to make their own home.
Well, I just want to quickly retouch, if there are any creators who want to give it a try, please, you're very welcome to. I've got a ton of land. Just get in touch with me in World, and be happy to help you out.
Yes, and my email is Tessa, real easy, Tessa at SpotOn3D.com. If you have anyone who is interested in real employment with a really exciting company, we're doing really neat things. We'll have to be under NDA, but really exciting stuff. And volunteers, if you just like helping the community, please let us know. And if you would like to eventually have a job, we will be making some of these cream of the crop moderators employed. So this is a chance to get in on the ground floor. Okay, I think we're done. And thank you, everyone, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks with SpotOn3D Office Hours. Bye.